Pre-Manchester derby certainly is a big day in every part of the world. Every corner of this planet called Earth knows about it. And certainly it is the biggest football party this weekend. But the boss has spoken. Ruben Amorim waxing lyrical about Alejandro Garnacho. He has spoken as well about the perfect position for Mazraoui, arguably the best player at Manchester United in terms of ability and potential and skill. Players like him are needed, but where exactly should we be playing him? Meanwhile, Captain Fantastic, El Magnifico, Bruno Fernandes, the PFA fans' play of the month, certainly deserved. Is this what we need going into a crucial tie against a Manchester City that is not having their best striker, but certainly are looking to come back to the top where they feel they should be? Let's get it now. Listen, Mazraoui for me is one of, if not the most gifted footballers at Manchester United currently because of his ability to do things, so many things. And Amorim spoke about this, talking about how he's good defensively, how he's good with the ball and taking on players. That's why, against Fenerbahce, you do recall, Erik ten Hag was even convinced to play him as a number 10 because of his abilities on the ball. I call him a nacho. You see him do things effortlessly. And for me, that's a sign of a talented footballer who is not forcing himself in the beautiful game. So for me, Mazraoui is that. But I quite think the consistent switching, because he's a talented player, and Amorim spoke about this before, he's confused in terms of where he wants to play him. He says he sees him more now as a left back or a central defender. But Mazraoui has got so many abilities in him. He can also play as a wing back, and Amorim admitted that, just that his final cross has not been impressive, but he gets himself in the right positions to be able to play as a wing back. But where exactly should he be played? And I also think perhaps one of the reasons why, because he was used to playing on the right-hand side of a back four, and with Amorim playing a back three, he gets a bit lost in the system. Perhaps now he's growing into it. But one of the things I think that is limiting us to appreciate and see his abilities is the fact that we keep switching him. He's playing right, then plays on the left, then the other day is playing 10, then I think at times he inverts into the middle, and at times wing back. So he's all over the place. He's more of a utility player for Man United, which is okay. It's good to have utility players in a team. But even if you're a utility player, you've got to have a position where you're known for, a position that you're identified in. And when you put in that position, it's supposed to stand out. You're supposed to look comfortable and home. Maybe that's on the right. But in this Ruben Amorim system, where would that be? Against Manchester City, I want to believe that Mazraoui should be played on the right-hand side of the back three. Now, of course, we've seen him be beaten in that position, especially by teams that have got flying wingers who can stretch the pitch. You remember Anthony Gordon and Newcastle, when Mazraoui was exposed time and again. I know that Manchester City have a player like Doku who can do sort of the same thing, but I still believe, for me, his comfortable position is on the right of the back three in this Ruben Amorim system. He looks better there. The wing back might look okay for him, but the final delivery is something that he has got to work on more consistently. And in fact, if he works on that, he can be a better wing back than even Diogo Dalot. But for now, Dalot has swung in a few crosses that have made him look decent, better than what we have currently. And that's why I would again rather keep him there in the meantime, ahead of Mazraoui. So that's what I think about Mazraoui. You can give me your opinion about him. Now, talking about Garnacho, so Amorim comes out and says that Garnacho is doing the right things, he's progressing, he's learning. He's mostly impressed by his transitional work, which I think is unquestionable, but also how he contributes defensively. Remember before, Garnacho was culprit for not doing enough defensively because he wanted to be that forward player who just thinks about going forward and does not really contribute to the team when they don't have the ball. Right now, you clearly see him putting in the hard yards, and he looks mature, looks good on him. The one thing lacking in Garnacho's game is his final decision and his consistent generosity as a player. He gets selfish. I think his natural instinct is to do things on his own, that especially when he's played inverted from the left, he gets selfish. Now, Amorim wants to play him on the left, but Garnacho, with that option of cutting and getting onto his right, he's more often than not tempted to shoot, and that is what makes him look selfish. When he plays on the right, he has no option because he cannot shoot from the right. He has to cross the ball, and that is what we want to see more of him do. So it's a tricky situation, but I think I would agree with Amorim that indeed Garnacho is progressing. But there has been a breaking update from The Sun that Leandro Garnacho has put his mansion in Manchester up for sale. It's a £3.85 million mansion that he bought just barely 12 months ago, that he has put it up for sale as if to hint that he's perhaps looking for a move away. Of course, they will come out and deny it. This has been broken as if he's selling it secretively. But the thing is, for me, I won't be surprised if Man United and Amorim are contemplating parting ways with Leandro Garnacho. I wouldn't be surprised, because even the player himself, clearly, even if he's improving in certain things for now, the way he drops back into default settings, for me, is a sign that perhaps he's not exactly convinced that the way Man United and Amorim want him to play is the way he wants to play football himself. And that's important for a player. Each player has got to know how he wants to play football. So maybe there is something about that. You might want to take note of that. I do remember when Mason Greenwood was about to go, most of these players, when they're about to go, the first thing they do is put their houses up for sale. Why would he put a house for sale, yet he just moved into it 12 months ago with his girlfriend and his kid? So that's something you might want to think about. So Garnacho could be on his way out, and that's a scary hint, perhaps, for those of you who want to see him there. But for me, I wouldn't call it scary, because the signs have been there that perhaps Amorim and Ineos might be looking to move on from him, make use of him to get some good money that can help them make the signings that they feel are perfect for the new boss. So that's what I think. Of course, Bruno Fernandes as well, being named the PFA Fans Player of the Month, I think quite obvious. I think he was an outstanding player in the month, man of the match for both Man United games in the month of March. I think it's without a doubt a deserved award. We beat Declan Rice and Anthony Elanga and the likes. They're the people he beat for that accolade, and I'm sure no one will come out there and say he did not deserve it. But for me, the one thing I want to commend Bruno for lately is his ability now to play a little for the team. And whereas he's the guy who consistently tries to do extra things for the team, score that extra goal when it's needed, or play that killer pass, or start that, or play that set piece, I feel like Amorim has polished his game in a way that Bruno now looks more clean, more neat. He looks neater as a player. Before, under Erik ten Hag, he was all over the place. He was playing unregulated football, as if playing in chaos. And clearly that was because, of course, he was playing with a bunch of players who are not doing enough, who are not doing their part. And clearly, for a player of Bruno's quality, if you get to a point where you've lost confidence in your teammates, you certainly are going to try to take things in your own hands. And at times, it has worked. But the times it hasn't worked, there are people who have attacked him actually for being the reason why other players are not playing their part right. But if you think about it with an open mind, you see that Bruno is usually stretched to do a lot of the hard work, the donkey work, because the rest of the teammates are not really putting in enough. So my view is Amorim has improved him in a way, but I feel like Bruno has got now to be more consistent, because if you look at the last game for Man United against Nottingham Forest, Bruno was off. He did not perform. And whereas it is abnormal to expect a player to perform consistently at this level in every game, I think with where Man United is now and how much they depend on Bruno Fernandes and what he does, I think he has got no option but to step up his performances in every game if Man United is going to have any chance to win any game of football. Even against Man City, who are seemingly dilapidated, who are out of sorts, Bruno has got to be on his best behavior if United is going to win, because you can imagine if Man City show up and Bruno is not playing, the team is not carrying the ball, it's not moving enough, trust you me, we won't create the pinholes needed to injure and affect the game against Manchester City. So for me, yes, the accolade has won, deserved, but he has got to improve on what we saw in the game against Nottingham Forest, a big opposition. We need to see Bruno just enjoying himself and making the team play against Man City. And when that happens, there is every chance that at Old Trafford, City will leave red. My name is Webb. Subscribe. I'll catch you later.